Ah, yes, the infamous Windows 10 setup. But we all know too well. This might not take several minutes, or this might take several minutes. Wow, first time Windows 10 isn't lying to you. Well, today this video is going to be telling you and teaching you how to set up a new Windows 10 computer and optimize it. Disclaimer, if you are going to follow these tips, I'm not responsible for anything that may happen, but these are simply what I do when I get a computer or set up a new device. No, I'm also running this under a virtual machine, so all settings and presettings have been automatically set to default, and I've gone through the basic setup. Alright, so you have your new Windows 10 setup. What are you gonna do? First, well, most people don't even know this, but you can edit these tiles. Personally, I don't like all this junk, so I'm just gonna I'm just gonna remove all the stuff. Uh, Actually, before we even do that, you should probably go into your Play Store or whatever, and you should get install all the updates because when you get updates and stuff, it might add more junk and it might make things extra annoying. So what I recommend is first thing to getting a new computer is updating. So check for updates and settings, go into your Play Store and get your updates. And yeah, when you have those done, we can move on to step two. As you can see, I had a lot of updates to install, as this is a virtual machine and it's not using the latest Windows 10 updates. Even when you get a new computer, oftentimes it is still outdated because it sits inside a box for months, sometimes even up to a year or two. So make sure to update first. Rest in peace, Adobe Flash Player for Windows 10. Rest in peace. Alright, when you have all your updates installed, you're going to want to restart your computer. So, you can close that, and you can restart the computer another time, or you can restart it now. But for this video, I'm going to restart it right now. As you restart, it's going to restart the computer while installing the updates, so it may take a little longer than normal. Alright, so if your computer has a feature update, instead of going to a screen saying working on updates, it may look a little bit different and look like this. It's going to say working on updates, but that's simply because it's a feature update, but it will just do its process. It'll take a little bit of time, and when that's back and done, it'll go into your operating system and everything will be all good. Alright, now that you have the update installed, the next part you can do is you can go into settings, and then just double check that there's no more updates left. And let's see. Yep. So after installing a feature update or one update, there might be a couple more because you updated to a newer version. So make sure to install those and then move on to the next part. Alright, now that you have all your updates installed, what you can do is go into settings, and then what you can do is you can go into privacy, and then you can choose your privacy settings. Oftentimes, there's going to be a lot of options that you probably left in the default installation. So I personally like to turn a lot of this off. So show me suggested content, turn that off. Um, you can leave this on if your computer is a bit laggy or if issues occur when it starts up the menu. Anyways, use advertising IDs. This will pretty much track you online to give you more specialized ads. I'm gonna turn that off. I'm gonna check my things, and I'm just gonna turn this off. You can turn on and off whatever you want. Next, I'm gonna turn off speech, and it's already off. I'm gonna turn off inking and typing personalization because Windows 10, it tracks what you write and type, and then it sends it to Microsoft to try and create a better idea of what you're trying to type. I'm gonna, I don't want to send a lot of information, so I'm gonna go required. It's going to turn a lot of this off, so I'm going to turn a lot of this information off. Activity history, I'm just going to turn that off. Location, I don't want things to access my location, so pretty much you can change all these settings when you want. But the big one is going into background tasks and turning off all of this stuff because this is what tries to run in the background. So turning this off will, the apps will still work, but it's just not going to run in the background, taking up resources. All right, now that you have that off, and all your settings configured, you can go into System, and then you can go into Storage, and then what you can do is you can let this load, and you can start uninstalling a lot of the junk. Once when it's downloaded, you can go into apps and features. You can let it just load real fast. And then you can uninstall all the stuff that you don't want. I'm gonna uninstall a lot of it, but if you use like 3D Viewer, you can keep it. So I'm gonna just uninstall all this. Alright, so once when you get all that uninstalled, you're going to notice that a lot of junk has been removed. But then I would also recommend turning on storage sense. So what this does is it runs the optimization to make sure your computer doesn't um, use too much storage, and when it does, it'll start to help clear it up. So I like to turn this on every week. If they've been in my recycle bin for 14 days, of course, configure this to your own defaults and preferences. I'm gonna just go 14 days, delete previous versions of Windows, clean now. And then what we can do is, while that runs, we can go into home and then we can go into personalization. So in here, you can change background, your pictures, you can choose your system color. Personally, I would choose dark mode, so settings and file explorer and all that is in dark mode. So you can do that, you can go into themes, you can go into lock screen, you can do fonts, start. In here, I would recommend turning off show suggestions. Taskbar, you can change all these if you want. Next, what I would recommend you do after installing Windows 10 is go into your File Explorer. Once when you're in here, go into File, change folder and search options, View, and then hide extensions for known file types. So let's say you download a .png file for an image. It's just going to hide the .png, but this can also lead to malware because it can look like it's a picture icon, but it can be a .exe. So I recommend turning that on. What I would also recommend doing after installing Windows 10 is you can edit this. So just kind of move this stuff around, make it how you would like, just unpin everything that you don't want. Oops. Unpin, uninstall, uninstall. A lot of junk that Windows 10 comes with. Alright, so now that you have all this done, next what I would do when I install Windows 10 is edit Windows Defender. So you can turn on controlled folder access, but this will help prevent ransomware attacks. But I would turn it off because a lot of the times a lot of things are blocked, sometimes even Windows updates. So I would go into app and browser devices, then just kind of block potentially unwanted apps. And then I would go into device security, core isolation. It may ask you to restart, but after that, it should be on. And yeah, we'll restart later. Alright, now that you have all this done, you can also move around your taskbar. So I don't use mail, so I'm gonna just get rid of that, put that over here. I do that. Oops, like that. There we go. And now that you have that done, also go into here, you can click expand, you can turn off Wi-Fi because that stays on for some reason. You can also edit these little icons. So, I don't have tablet mode, so I'm going to unpin that. No VPN, I don't want nearby sharing, network, connect, airplane mode, location, and then I also don't want connect. There we go. Then you can click done. Since I'm using a virtual machine, it's not here, but on a latest version of Windows 10, there's normally a scroll bar where you can control your brightness. So, after all that, you can move on to the next step. Alright, so just as a few more bonus tips, if you want, you can go into settings, and then go into update and security, and then once when you're in here, you can go into advanced options. In here, I would recommend turning on show notification when PC needs a restart so you know when it needs to update. You can also receive updates on other Microsoft products when you update Windows. Now, you don't have to have that on, but eh, it's up to you. And then delivery optimization. If you don't want to use too much Wi-Fi, you can turn this off because otherwise this sends it up in your Wi-Fi so other computers on it can notice that there's updates. And then, yeah, once when you have that, that's pretty much all good. You can also go into control panel. And then once when you're in here, you can go into programs and features. And then you can just uninstall all the stuff that you don't want. So you can also go into system and security and maintenance. And then you can do some checks every now and then. You can start maintenance in case your computer's having some issues. You can check your firewall, your system settings. And if you want your computer to be the most optimized for power, what I would recommend doing is, or if you want power saver, so like long battery but not very powerful, power saver. But what I would do is create a power plan and then high performance, and then I would name it whatever you want, best performance. You want to click next, and then choose your settings, create, and then high performance. Bam. So now your computer is going to be running at the best performance it can instead of worrying about battery. So once when that's done, you can enjoy Windows 10. Yeah. Once when you have all these little optimizations, you'll notice that Windows 10 will be a little speedier, and you can also work on some stuff. Personally, after restarting the computer after all these changes, I would also recommend disk cleanup, and then just do that. And then defrag. This will let you optimize your hard drive so it runs better. And then just to make sure your computer doesn't have errors, I would do cmd, run as administrator, and then type in sfc/scan now. What this does is this is a system file checker, so it'll make sure none of your files are corrupted or damaged, and it'll help. So yeah, this can take a little while depending on your computer and what you have open, so just be patient. Alright, so once when the system file checker is done, it should tell you if there was no files found or if there was files found, and then it should say that they were fixed. Anyways, if you notice anything slow about your computer, you can always run this command at any time. You can open up Task Manager using Control-Shift-Escape, and then you can just check to see if anything weird's going on in the background. And then restart your computer, and then I would recommend running the scan again just to make sure everything's fixed and everything's alright. Anyway, here's a bonus tip if you're still watching at the end of this video. If you go into the Windows Play Store, and then you search up, oh, a little lag. If you search up ear trumpet, Windows 10 doesn't like inaccurate spelling, so make sure to spell it like that. If you search up ear trumpet, you can install this. I would recommend getting this because pretty much what this does is this lets you control the volume for each application. So you download that. Once when that's downloaded, it'll be all done, all good. And so just wait for it to finish installing. And now you have ear trumpet. So you can just click on it and then it'll load the program. Once when it's loaded, it's going to send this little thing right here, so like pretty much telling you how to use it. You can send crash data or not to the ear trumpet team, it's up to you. So pretty much once when you have that, you can go down here into this little icon, search for ear trumpet. So hover over it, and then this one's that, and then you can put the default volume in here. And then yeah, once when you have that, it's all good. Anyways, that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoyed, leave a like on the video. Consider subscribing for more. Have a good day. Bye.